All right, guys, in this video, we are going to look at fractions as division problems. I know we've talked about this a lot in class already, but every fraction is essentially a division problem. So when I look at a fraction such as 1/4, that is the same thing as saying 1 divided by 4. When we changed our fractions into mixed numbers, we did the same thing. So if we had 27/5, we would go to the side and write the division problem, 27 divided by 5, in order to change it back into a mixed number. And so we would get 5 2/5. We're essentially doing that same thing, and this is just the idea of knowing that every fraction is a division problem. And today we're going to look at some word problems with those division problems or fractions and how we might be able to get an answer from that. So again, if I have 5/6, that's the same thing as saying 5 divided by 6. Those two things are equal. So if you were to have a division problem 5 divided by 6, the answer is going to be 5/6 of a whole. So anytime we divide and our dividend is smaller than our divisor, we're going to get an answer that's less than 1. All right, so let's look at some examples. There's not a paper for you to pull to look at these, so if you want to just follow along with a whiteboard, you can do that, but I highly suggest you make sure that you're getting some of the practice in and working alongside as I work through some of these. All right, so this first problem says a family of 8 buys 4 gallons of milk. If each family member gets an equal share of the milk, how much milk will each person get? So we have these two numbers, and we kind of need to decide if we're looking at 8 divided by 4 or if we're looking at 4 divided by 8. Anytime we have a division problem, we need to look at what do we have and how many groups are we putting it into, or how many are in each group. So in this case, a family of 8 buys 4 gallons of milk. So if you want to even draw a picture, I'm going to draw the 4 gallons of milk. And we need to, so we have 4 gallons of milk, and we're going to split it up into 8 groups because there are 8 people in the family. So this is the problem that I'm actually doing. You could put 8s in each one of these, or let's go ahead and do that. Let's do so my 4 gallons of milk. So if I am in this family, I get 1/8 of each gallon, and 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 is 4/8. So 4 divided by 8 is equal to 4/8. All right, let's look at another one. We're looking at 6 friends share 3 cookies. How many cookies does each friend get? So first I'm going to picture what do I have, and I'm going to draw my 3 cookies because I have 3 cookies. And 6 friends are going to be splitting that up. So I have 3 cookies, and I'm going to divide it between the 6 friends. So you can either split each one of those into 6 parts, and I'm friend number 1, so I get 1 part of each of those. And you can see that 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 is going to give me 3/6, or, whoops, a half of a cookie. So same thing if I were to split to make 6 parts out of this. Friend 1 gets that, friend 2 gets that, friend 3, friend 4, friend 5, and friend 6. So each friend is getting a half of one cookie. All right, we're going to look at a few more together before you go off and do some of the practices that are available on your grid. All right, so let's look at this one. Whoop, let's zoom in a little bit, that's a little smaller. Okay, so Stella bought 18 pounds of meat to share equally between 5 families. Write the expression as a division problem, a fraction, and how much each family would get. So Stella bought 18 pounds of meat to share equally between 5 families. You could draw all 18 pounds of meat. However, I do not want to. So let's say we have 18. This is my dividend. This is what I have. And I'm going to split it up amongst the 5 families. So I get 18 divided by 5. If I write this as a fraction, my dividend is my numerator and my divisor is the denominator. So I'm doing 18 divided by 5. The answer is basically taking this fraction and turning it into a mixed number. So 5 goes into 18 3 times, and I have 3/5 left over. So this would be 3 3/5 pounds of meat. Okay. All right, let's look at one last one. Just cover that up. So Papa John's delivers 56 pieces of pizza for a class of 27 students. Write the division expression, the fraction, and how much pizza each student will get. So again, I'm looking at 56 pieces of pizza. I do not want to draw that. And we're going to split it up amongst 27 students. So I'm taking 56 pieces and I'm dividing it by 27. Which, if I write as a fraction, is 56 divided by 27. If we make that into an answer, again, I'm going to take this fraction and I want to turn it into a mixed number. And 27 can go into 56 2 whole times, which would get you 54, leaving you with 2 27ths left over. So each student would get two pieces and 2 27ths of another. Okay. So not too bad. Again, just to recap, when we look at fractions as a division problem, this is really just the idea that every fraction, no matter how I write it, so if I write 2/3, that is the same as saying 2 divided by 3. If I have the division problem 3 divided by 5, it means that's the same as 3/5. So 3 divided by 5 is 3/5. So they are interchangeable. They mean the same thing. And the fraction part gives you the answer to the division problem. All right. So you are now ready to move through some of your practice in this grid work.